Hey guys, Brent here from ShareInspireCreate.com. And on the other line, I've got Ricardo Ayala. I believe how you pronounce your name. How are you doing, Ricardo?
How you doing, Brent? How's it going?
Yeah, yeah, good, good, good. So Ricardo has just entered a photography contest, an amateur photography contest, and won. So I wanted to interview him and find out, what he did and how he got to that point of entering a contest as an amateur and winning the photography contest. So, Ricardo, can you just let us know, what you've been doing with your photography and what made you want to enter this contest and how did you go about doing it?
Right, yeah. So basically, I started photography a couple of years ago. Well, basically in 2013, and I just, love it from, some pictures that I saw around from people, and I always wondered like, how can I take one of those images? So I started, like getting the gear and everything, putting everything together, and searching in the web, and I found good materials like from Brent, and then I just hooked up. And when I moved here, I was in Thailand in that moment because of my job, and then I came to Mississippi, and I joined the lounge because I was following Brand, and he sent a message. So I just went in, and I posted a couple of images in the lounge, and I get a lot of good, positive feedback, constructive feedback, and I feel that I was ready, just to show my images to the people. So I started looking for a contest, and I found this one. I just went in, and this contest they do it every year. Is the Mississippi? I think it's the Mississippi Wildlife Federation. They do it every year. It's an outdoor photography contest. They have like three categories for young amateur, adult amateur, and advanced or professionals. And they have different categories inside those for macro, I don't know, landscape, the Mississippi landmarks, which is the one that I won. So yeah, actually I found it out 2 days ago when I came back from a trip. I found this envelope and then I opened it. Well, it was a surprise and it was very good for me. And yeah, I posted it right away in the lounge just to share, as you say, they share the love.
Awesome. That's awesome, Ricardo. So just so that people don't know what the lounge is, can you just let them know what it is?
Well, the lounge is a community of photographers where we basically learn from the feedback of the people. There is a lot of material over there, training materials. So it's very good. I mean, you get to know people, photographers, professional photographers. You share your image, you get the constructive feedback, and basically from there you start learning, and obviously like in other things, you need to learn from yourself and learn from, great materials and everything, but every time you post an image, you get this feedback, and then you are just constructing this whole thing.
Awesome. So you joined the Share Inspire Create Lounge, which Johnny and I set up, the online community for photographers. You've posted a lot of your images. I know you've been really active. That's how I know you. I feel like I know you, like you're a next door neighbor to me. You've been very active. You've commented on other people's images. You've posted your own. You got feedback from the members, and you've obviously gained confidence in your photography. And then you found this contest and you've entered it and won. And that's just, for me, that is the best thing I heard. We spoke a little bit offline before this interview, and I was telling Ricardo that for me to see a student of mine or someone who's been learning from us to actually go out and win something, that is just incredible to me. So, Ricardo, what advice would you give amateur photographers or people that want to actually improve their photography? What advice would you give them? How can they firstly get better at what they're doing? And the second question is, this, when it comes to contests, why should people enter and what can they actually get out of it?
Right. So I would say the first thing you have to do, and I learned about in the hard way, was to learn how to use my gear. Read the manual, understand your gear from the inside out, then get all the information and the basics from whatever book you can get or online or something like that, better join a community like this one, like the Lounge, like the Sick Lounge. It's seriously something that I will highly recommend. I mean, it's quite cheap, to be honest. It's cheap, and what you get in return, it's, I mean, priceless. It's simple as that. So yeah, I will give these 3 advices to people. And obviously, actually, one of the things that I got from the launch was, and through one of these hangouts, I saw that Andrew, he said to all of us, like, maybe if you can join a photography, class or workout or something like that, go for it, because it will complement everything. So I actually did that. I'm actually doing that now. And what I do is, like, I do all the tasks and homework, whatever, and I complement all these things with the feedback that I get from the launch. So it just, you put everything together, and then you can just show what you got, and you learn a lot. But it's important to have a positive feedback, not like the feedback that you get from Facebook. Facebook is just like, and people don't really know about photography, maybe, or it's just your friends. They don't want to say something bad about you, or they just ignore it. Or sometimes when you post it in 500 pixels on these communities or stuff like that, that you shared it, people just say like or not, but they never say, hey man, you should think about the composition, you should think about this or that, or maybe you can look for something like how to, I don't know, process the image in a different way. So definitely places like the Launch, best place to learn. Is
awesome.
Bottom line. Yeah. What was the second question?
The second question was, why did you enter this contest, or why do you think other amateur photographers should enter a contest? What's your take on that?
Sure. To be honest, I think is the biggest step for me. I mean, I think for amateurs, it will be the biggest step to show your work to the people, and people that you don't know. So it comes back to the launch. When I first show my image in the launch, I was expecting something like, no, that image sucks, or something like that. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It was just the opposite. It was just constructive. It was very good. So that gave me all the courage, enough courage to do that. So when you do that in a contest, it gives you all this, energy and all this courage to continue doing it. And when you see results, like, I mean, I guess I was just lucky, or I don't know, that I won in the first time. And that's good. And if you don't win, it doesn't matter, You just did it, and keep trying and keep trying, keep trying. And that's the way I see it. And probably, I don't know, maybe you can, if you want, you can just go on and try, I don't know, National Geographic. They have a lot of contests out there, or one of those big guys or whatever. And it doesn't matter. You don't lose. Yeah. You don't lose. You always win. So.
That's awesome. Thank you for that, Ricardo. And just so you guys know, when I entered my first professional photography contest, I won. I also won. And what that gave me, for me, entering contests is a way to push your photography. You really push it, because you have a look at what other people are putting in there, and the stuff's really good. So you actually got to really get out of your comfort zone and create something that you've maybe never created before. And when you actually win, I suppose it's validation that you are what other people think as good, which is great to actually hear, because often us creative people, us photographers, might be our own worst critic. We look at our images and we think, oh, they're not that great. I could have done better. I could have done this. I could have done that. And I'm never going to be as good as that guy or that guy. You kind of compare yourself against other people. But when you actually enter a contest and you win, like you did, it actually validates that, you know what, maybe my photography isn't that bad, and maybe I have actually progressed since I started. So, yeah, what do you think about that, Ricardo?
Definitely. When I post this image in the Lounge, and I get all the feedback, and I start looking at that image, and I was like, okay, I could do better, But as you said, it's just encourage you to try to improve your photography, to try to learn about different techniques and different, I don't know, it makes you go and think out of the box. When you are standing in a place, a new place that you have never been, and then you see all your surroundings, and then you're thinking like, hey, I may take a photo in this way, or this should be good or not. And it's all about that, And,
Awesome.
and as you said, when you go into this contest, you normally see the previous year winners or whatever, and then you feel like, I'm not gonna win. Or maybe you have this feeling like, maybe I can do it. Why not? So it's all it takes. Just try. That's it. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So it basically gives you confidence that you're doing the right thing and that maybe your images are great. So can you describe your image? We'll obviously overlay this video with your image. Kind of, if you can, describe it. What you're thinking when you photographed it, the things that you like and maybe you don't like about the image, or the things that you maybe think are great about this image, and then also what you photographed it with, the equipment and the settings, if you can remember.
Right. Okay, so this is a park close to the city I live in. So I went with my wife just to chill out, and I take my gear over there. And then when I was walking, I saw this, like, I don't know, like this path with all these water running, and also the clouds, and it wasn't that windy. So what I wanted to do in that moment is to use the new gear that I got in those days, 10-stop filter. So I have a Canon 70D, which has a crop sensor, and I use ultra wide angle lens for that, 10 to 24 millimeters, and I put this filter on. So what I wanted to create was something like to show the movement of the clouds. That's the whole idea. And then when I start moving around the location, and I saw this particular place in the park, what I thought was, how can I use these lines to draw the attention of the viewer to one point. So I saw the trees and I saw the lines, and I thought, okay, the convergent lines are going to work. If I put the filter, I can show the movement of the clouds, and also show some movement in the water that you can see on the left-hand side. So the other problem that I have in that moment is just to change my point of view, and that's why I went low, and that worked. Just to put the bottom third and the trees in that level. So basically, yeah, that's what I use, the normal ultra wide angle. I think this exposure is for about, I don't remember, I think it's like 10 seconds or so. But as you can see, the wind was not like blowing that hard, so that's why the clouds doesn't move that much. But at least I got a little bit of movement there. What else? And yeah, obviously a tripod and a shutter release, control release.
Yep,
that's what I use.
That's awesome. It looks great. I'm just looking at it right now, Ricardo. So I love those lines leading to the trees. Looks like you used the rule of thirds there when it comes to composition. Your point of interest, the trees, are kind of in the bottom right-hand third of the image, which is great. There are a couple of cars parked under the trees there, and I'm loving that long exposure, the 10 seconds or longer that you actually use, so you can see the blurriness from the water on the left. The little, I guess, little mini waterfalls that are coming down the weir, or the path that goes across this river. Is it a dam, Ricardo?
It's a lake, a big lake.
A lake, okay.
Like an artificial lake, yeah.
Awesome.
And, I know that I can probably in the post-processing maybe clone these yellow lines on the right-hand side, or the cards, or do something like that. But because of the contest, it's something that you need to be aware when you're going into a contest. Is like, you cannot modify the images. That's what they want. They just want the image the way it is. So you need to think about that before you take an image. So, well, I just went with it, and it worked.
Awesome. And that's a good point there. When you are going for a contest, it's always a good idea to read the rules. So some contests do have that rule where you can't actually take anything out or put anything into the image. It's got to be basically an image coming off your camera, and then like minimal post-processing, which looks like what you've done over here. Some contests do allow you to do that, like it might be the like a creative category where you can actually blend certain images. You can put things from other images into one image, or combine multiple images to create a single exposure. So it all depends on what you're going for, guys. So great image there, Ricardo. I love it. I mean, did you use a polarizing filter to get that nice blue sky, dark sky?
No, that's actually post-processing. I use the filter in Lightroom.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
Yeah, and Vern or Dutch, I always confuse those two in Photoshop. So the edge.
Yeah, I confuse them too. I never know which one's dark and which one's light in them.
Always bright. That's it.
Yeah. So awesome, Ricardo. Thank you so much for being on this interview with me and talking candidly about your experience in the Share, Inspire, Create Lounge, how it's helped you to gain confidence and improve your photography, and then finally enter a contest and win. That's amazing. So if people want to find out a little bit more about your photography, where can they go to see what you're doing?
Well, I have an account in 500 pixels, and I'm now creating a Facebook page just for photography for me. Then maybe I'm going to create something more like my own web page. But for now, it's just that. I mean, just going baby steps, but yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we'll put those in the show notes below, all the links to Ricardo's images, so you guys can check them out. So Ricardo, just one final thing. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia, South America. Not Colombia.
Awesome.
Colombia.
Yeah. Good. Awesome. And you're living in America, the USA right now.
Yeah,
but you've been all around the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and I'll catch you in the lounge.
Sure. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. And say thank you to Yanni, please. Okay.
I will. Totally. Cheers.
Cheers.